Thanks for coming, everybody. The purpose of this press conference is to inform the public that approximately 500 acres north of Highway 60 on Highway 65 is in the process of being rezoned as a mixed-use development. The project being proposed by 6065 Partnership LLC. This is not the entity that will actually develop the property. We will be seeking a large national developer that has expertise in taking a project of this size to market. Our goal today is to talk about rezoning the project so we have the zoning in place so we can attract a national developer that has the credentials to take a project of this size to market and attract national attendance 2-3 years down the road. Property is located at the crossroads of Highway 60 and Highway 65. Jeff's going to show you some land plans that will make sense here in a minute. It's strategically located. The intersection of 60 and 65 currently generate about 120,000 cars per day, not counting the 6 million cars per year that are traveling from Branson south past the property down to Branson. Those are shoppers that we're missing traveling to Branson that are critical. MoDOT has agreed to allow us an interchange access to the property. Historically, the last 10 years, there's been a lot of interest in trying to develop this property. It's at a crossroads. It's the only large tract of ground in Springfield that can attract national retailers on a level that would be one step above what we currently have. The goal is not to do duplicates of what we have in town, but is to bring the next level of retailers to town. So as the economy rebounds and returns 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now, this property will be well suited to be able to cater to the Von Mars of the world, and I hesitate to use the word, but the Cheesecake Factories and the Pottery Barns, that when they decide to come to Springfield, they don't have a place to locate. And the only place that they're going to locate is going to be in a project that is of this stature, that has this many co-tenants with this kind of access, this kind of demographics and visibility. We think the timing is right to be working on this because MoDOT is going to be improving Highway 65 to 6-lane, as everyone knows. And over the next 2 years, if we can time our interchange along with this, it's going to provide access to this property that we've never had. Some of the development densities for this project that are important to note: the project itself is 500 acres. The general retail component is proposed by Jeff to be 1.49 million square feet. To give you guys a thumbnail of comparison, the Battlefield Mall is 1.1 million feet. So we're talking about retail a little bit larger than the Battlefield Mall, probably in a different format, probably more of an outdoor shopping district. But what's important to note is the Battlefield Mall sits on 80 acres of a parking lot. We're talking about putting a project the size of the Battlefield Mall, a little bit larger, on 500 acres of green grass. That's an entirely different dynamic, and that's the direction development's going, and that's the direction the community wants to see development going. The office component of the project is 283,000 square feet. As a comparison, Hammond's Tower is 245,000 feet. There again, Hammond's Tower is sitting on a concrete parking lot with no green grass. We're talking about 5 acres with multiple office buildings that would total that type of size and density. We've got a hotel component proposed zone for 300 units, multifamily for 174 units, senior living 289 units, and 71 single-family units. Jeff will show this on the land plan, it will make more sense. The project is really 2 to 3 years from breaking ground, and that's making the assumption that the economy turns around. And we think it's important to be bullish that we're going to see the economy turn around and that we don't miss an opportunity to develop this project, because really over the last 10 years, there's a lot of history here. We've missed a couple windows with national developers that have wanted to bring that next level of shopping that everyone in Springfield wants to see. The people that are driving to Kansas City to shop would have had an opportunity here 5 years ago to have the project that we would all like to see, but we couldn't get access from MoDOT. We now have that access, and we've got that access in the worst economic times we've ever experienced. So we're doing the groundwork, so the next 2 years we've got the background in place so we can attract a national developer that's going to get on board with us and take this to the next level. As the economy recovers, we're going to be able to position this so it's going to be very marketable 2, 3, 4 years out. and it's gonna have some significant financial impact on our community. I'll touch on those numbers in a minute. You know, as a general stat, when you analyze Springfield, our trade area, if you look at how much retail we have compared to other markets that have about 500,000 people that come to shop within an hour, hour and a half drive time, we're about 1.5 million square feet short compared to other communities. So it's not like we're proposing a development and saying, we need a whole bunch more retail that Springfield can't support. Springfield can support this kind of density when the economy returns. 2 years ago, we could have supported this density. And I don't think there's any question with the developers we talked about at that time, if we would have had access, this project would have come together. There's a few reasons that I'd like to point out that this is critical to Springfield. First is quality of life to our residents. I mean, we have people driving to Tulsa, to Kansas City to shop and spend money outside this community. We have 6 million people going to Branson to shop at the outlet malls that are not stopping at the Battlefield Mall because that tenant mix isn't offering a lot of the shops that we would like to see come to this project. It's a complete untapped market driving past that. There's no reason we should be giving those sales tax and property taxes away. With the city's funding shortage, I think it's really important to point out what type of economic impact this project can have. Here's a few bullet points. The cost of the infrastructure to do this project is $63 million. Give or take 10%, it's still a big number. That's a lot of money being spent to create roads, infrastructure, streets, sewers, so buildings can be built to generate retail sales tax. The total cost of construction after this project is built out, and let's assume a 10-year time frame to build out a project this size, it's $400 million. Those are using today's construction numbers. 8 and 10 years from now, that number is going to go up. If we look at a modest 40% of the cost of construction as labor, it'll generate $200 million in labor revenue for local contractors over the period of development. If we make some simple assumptions that are industry standard, this size of project should generate 2,250, 2,300 new direct jobs for construction. If you take that to the next level and look at the support community that supports those jobs, it should generate just shy of 3,300 jobs over the course of the development to both build the project and provide the service to those buildings to keep everything operating. It's a lot of new jobs in Springfield. The appraised value of the property is expected to exceed $440 million. That'll generate $7.9 million in property tax. Right now, today, the project generates $3,000 a year. So even if we get halfway to where we want to go in 10 years, we're moving from $3,000 to $4, $5, $6, $7 million in property taxes. Substantial numbers. We can look at some of the sales tax numbers that come from these kind of projects, and these are using industry standard numbers that are in other towns our size, population trade areas of 500,000 people. We should generate about $27 million in state, county, and local sales tax. Of that, 11 million is local sales tax only. So in a time when we have such a budget crisis and working out of it over the next 2 years, if this project can get the support of the public and we can get it zoned and bring in a joint venture partner that's capable of taking this to the next level, this can alleviate a lot of the headaches the city's seeing right now and provide a lot of jobs.